The name of this video is Warning to All of Christianity. Satan's greatest deception. Satan's greatest deception. Now, what we're going to deal with is God's law. God's law. Now, I've touched on this several points, and several points I haven't, but I'm doing this video and I'm opening it up for discussion. Now, sometimes, let me rephrase it. I'm opening it up for biblical discussion. And I had to say biblical because I don't want to waste time. You know, my time is precious, your time is precious, and I don't want to waste time with just opinions and what we believe. Let's bring the Bible to the table. Let's reason together. You know, the greatest deception that Satan ever proved and has deceived all of Christianity is into thinking that God's law no longer exists, or that God's law is no longer binding. And all of this is because of the fourth commandment. The fourth commandment. And you might say, well, Josh, why would you say that? Well, why else would it be? If you ask any Christian, no matter the denomination, this goes way past just the denomination. But if you ask any Christian, would they rather live in a neighborhood where everyone kept the 10 Commandments, or where everyone didn't keep them? It would most likely 99.9%, if the person is being honest, would say, yeah, of course I'd rather live in a neighborhood where everybody kept the 10 Commandments, because it would be paradise. You know what I'm saying? It would literally be paradise if you live somewhere where everyone kept the commandments. But see, the problem is, so you have a lot of Christianity say the commandments or the law was done away with at the cross. Wow. They say the law was done away with at the cross, which doesn't really make sense to me, because everyone who says the law was done away with at the cross, I always say, so okay, if you come home and you find your husband or wife in adultery, then you might as well cook dinner and wait for them to get done. Don't even get mad. You may say, Joshua, you know, I told a friend that, and I knew he loved his wife. He almost looked at me with convulsions. He was like, what are you talking about, Josh? Of course I'm gonna get mad. I'm like, why? You said the law was done away with. Oh, it's just the Sabbath law was done away with. I'm telling you, we're gonna pick this apart, and I'm opening this up not just to debate. This is serious. This is serious business. And it doesn't matter the denomination. There are thousands upon thousands, millions of Christians who honestly believe God's 10 Commandment law was done away with, but yet they'll get mad if someone steals something from them. Come on, reason with me. You can't be hypocritical. Why would you get mad if someone steals something from you if the law was done away with? Or they'll say that the fourth commandment, meaning the Sabbath day, was changed at the cross, meaning because Jesus rose on Sunday, that made it Sunday. Beloved, I'm bringing history and the Bible to the table on this one. And I rarely talk about the Sabbath. I ain't gonna say I rarely do, but not where it's open up for debate. But now we're at the edge of eternity, and Satan is deceiving so many people. What does it say in James? If you are guilty in breaking one, then you are guilty in breaking the whole 10, all 10. So if Satan can cleverly get millions of Christians to break one of God's commandments, then he's gonna cleverly get you to break all 10. Now, what's the most important? What's the important thing about the Sabbath? See, the Sabbath was a memorial of creation, that God created everything. The Sabbath is the only commandment that holds the authority of the law inside of it. Say, Josh, what do you mean? What I mean is, the Sabbath is the only commandment that states who rules everything. That's the plainest way I can put it. The Sabbath is the only commandment that states inside of it who rules everything. So if you can do away with the commandment, the Sabbath commandment, then the devil's actually trying to do away with God's rulership. Now, what's the thing about a memorial? I was thinking about this earlier. There's certain holidays, and they're all pagan holidays. Let's not get into that discussion. But there's certain days that fall on certain days every year that the world celebrates. You don't see people trying to change it, you know. You don't see people trying to change them, you know. But what if they say for New Year's? New Year's is my birthday, matter of fact. What if they say for New Year's, okay, on New Year's, we're gonna, instead of celebrating it January 1st, we're gonna celebrate it January 3rd. Some people gonna be like, nah, you can't do that. You can't switch the day like that. Get with me, get with me. I can't just celebrate New Year's on January 3rd if I wanted to. Then how can we do that with God's Sabbath day? Because people say, oh yeah, the Sabbath was changed. But God says, I am the Lord, I change not. I change not. And it is a memorial to creation. Now let's look at it. Say if the Sabbath day was changed because of the resurrection, right? Because of the resurrection. Well, when did Jesus state it? When did Jesus state it? I will, if I have to, if you ask, and I might do it anyway, in one of the comments, if the Sabbath was changed with the resurrection, then nobody told the disciples. For if you go through the book of Acts, many time after time after time, it says that disciples went into the synagogue on the Sabbath day. In Acts 17:2, it even states that it was Paul's manner, meaning his habit, to still worship on the Sabbath. So if it was changed at the cross, nobody told the disciples. Nobody told the disciples. And if the commandments were done away with, why is John, when you go to the book of 1 John, he says, if you really love God, keep his commandments. Why is there this stress on commandments if it was really done away with? This is what we need to answer. This is what I'm bringing to the table, because Satan has deceived all of Christianity into believing this lie, this fable. And when you get into the sanctuary, anybody who teaches this, they won't teach you about the sanctuary. Why? Because in the sanctuary, you know, with the Ark of the Covenant, you know that you have the mercy seat. And the mercy seat is God's throne. And under the mercy seat sits the Ark. And inside the Ark is the 10 Commandments. So what does this say, Josh? Y'all ask me, what does that say, Josh? What this says is, with the mercy seat being God's throne, this says that God sits upon his law. You can't lose this. Don't lose it. And this also says that God's throne and his law are united, are one, because the Ark of the Covenant is one piece of furniture. This isn't separate pieces of furniture. You know, God. So when you look at the Ark of the Covenant, which has the mercy seat that sits on top of the 10 Commandments, and the mercy seat is God's throne, God is basically saying his throne sits on his law. Or let's switch it. He's saying the foundation of his throne is his law. And that's like any king. This what I get. This what puzzles me, you know, about this reasoning that the devil has slid into Christianity and it has bombarded Christianity. Kings, governments, even parents in our houses, we can have our rules and laws, but God's law done away with? God doesn't have a law? Now who would benefit from that the most? Satan or God? Who would benefit from the law being done away with the most? Satan or God? So let's reason together. And when you look at history, I'm bringing history to the table. Google everything I say. Like I said, the truth loves investigation. The truth loves investigation. Please prove me wrong. But the Sabbath, the Sunday, I often ask a lot of Christians, a lot of my Christian friends who worship on Sunday, do you know why you keep Sunday? The question is, why Sunday? This because for Sunday, before it became the 7th-day Sabbath, before they tried to make it the 7th-day Sabbath, was called Solo Day. Solo Day. And up until 321 AD, 321 years, 321 years, the whole known world only worshipped on the 7th-day Sabbath after the cross. And I stress that because they say that the cross, they say that the Sabbath was changed at when the resurrection. resurrection, Sunday morning, resurrection morning. Because of the resurrection, okay, because Christ rose on Sunday, now all of Christianity keeps Sunday, which is not true. All biblical scholars will tell you that the whole known world only kept Saturday until 321 AD, when an edict was made by Constantine by the Council of Laodicea. He actually made a law forcing people to worship on Sunday. And after one generation started keeping Sunday, then another generation started keeping Sunday, and so it became second nature, to where they was like, okay, Sunday's our day. And you know, as the generations started keeping it, the seventh-day Sabbath began to lose its power, and people started to lose sight of it, because people hated the Jews. You gotta remember that people hated the Jews for killing Christ. So when Constantine became converted, he said, okay, the Jews have their seventh-day Sabbath. We already worship on Sunday, which is called Solo Day. Let's keep Sunday. Let's make Sunday our Sabbath. It's just a day. But if you're a parent and you give specific rules and orders on doing things, and your kids say, mommy told me to do this on Tuesday, but pump it, I'm gonna do it on Wednesday. You know you're gonna be mad. So why do we feel we can do that with God and his law? If God specifically said a day, then why do we feel that we can change it? Now, beloved, in over 150 dialects, the word Saturday is replaced with Shabbat or Sabbath. Like Spanish, it's El Sabado. Do you think it's just a coincidence, huh? That's just a coincidence that Saturday in over 150 languages is pronounced Sabbath. Like in Lebanon, it's Shabbat. You know, so let's look at these. I'm just skimming over some stuff. Or who knew that the Council of Trent, that Archbishop Riggio, the Council of Trent in the Reformation. Now, many Christians, do you know that the Reformation ended because of the Sabbath? Now, the Protestants was about to win. Now, Google this to prove me wrong. The Protestants was about to win. The debate had went on for 18 years. And one morning, the Archbishop Riggio, his speech is online. But he got up and he said, you know, you Protestants, he said, y'all swear y'all live by Solo Day. He said, you swear you live by Solo Day, but it's not true. He said, because we, the Catholic Church, instituted Sunday worship, and you follow what we instituted. Google it, the Archbishop of Riggio, and his sermon, his speech at the Council of Trent. And what could the Protestants say? All of them hung their head and said, wow, you're right. We say we go by Solo Scriptura. I tell my Solo Day. We say we go by Solo Scriptura, the Bible and Bible alone, but we worship on Sunday, the day instituted by the Catholic Church. And so they lost the Council of Trent, and that was the end of the Reformation at that moment in time. That was the end of at the end of the 18th century, end of the 1800s, the World's Fair. The World's Fair was on Sunday, and a whole bunch of the Protestant churches got upset and was like, I can't believe y'all are gonna be open on Sundays. And the Catholic Church said, what are you mad for? Sunday isn't even the Sabbath, the seventh-day Sabbath. That isn't the Bible Sabbath. We instituted Sunday, and they actually put out a challenge called Rome's Challenge by Cardinal Gibbons. It was in the Catholic Mirror, the magazine called the Catholic Mirror, and this was in the late 1800s. Google it to prove me wrong. Prove me wrong. I want you to Google it so you can see for yourself. This is an opinion. This is facts. Beloved, do not be deceived. Satan has deceived all in Christianity into having you breaking God's law. Because what sits on his law is his throne. And when you break his law, you offend who sits on the throne. Y'all have a good one.